Kevin Huerter comes up with a game-winning three-pointer on the night of Derrick Rose's jersey retirement ceremony. We'll talk about it right after this. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome back to Whole Lotta Bull. I'm Troy. Follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Troy, but more importantly, follow the show at Whole Lotta Bull. And wow, what a day! What a night for Chicago! What a night for the Chicago Bulls organization. The Chicago Bulls get a 114 to 111 victory with a game-winning three-point shot in the corner from Kevin Huerter on the night that the Chicago Bulls put Derrick Rose's number one jersey up in the rafters forever. This was a hell of a game from both teams, from both the Bulls and the Celtics. I mean, Jaylen Brown. I mean, we all remember the last game that we played the Celtics. Yes, they gave us, obviously they gave us the L, but Jaylen Brown in that game couldn't find his shooting stroke. Well, today he responds from that last game and 33 points, 14 of 28 from the field for Jaylen Brown. But this is another game where this was another team performance from the Chicago Bulls, and that everyone other than Josh Giddey, who stepped foot on the floor tonight for the Chicago Bulls, scored in double figures. He had Isaac Okoro, 12 points, Jalen Smith, 14, Vucevic, 16, Bruzelis, 14, Kobe, 22, Kevin Huerter, 12, Ayo had 10, Patrick Williams had 10 points, Josh just the 4. He struggled, but in saying that, while he did struggle offensively scoring the ball, he was extremely effective in the other areas. Despite the 5 turnovers, he had 10 assists and 8 rebounds in this game. So setting up a lot of great opportunities. That became really vital for the Bulls to help win this game. But and obviously, Kobe White still looks, he's on fire of late. 5 of 9 from beyond the arc in this game. 6 of 16 overall from the field. So not great there, but 5 of 9 from beyond the 3-point line. Outstanding shooting there from Kobe White. Marcus Buzelis goes 4 of 10 from beyond the arc. The team overall 21 of 45 for just under 47% from beyond the 3-point line. They shoot over 50% overall as a team and 87.5% from the free throw line, which surprisingly enough, they only got, despite how many free throws they shot the other day against the Minnesota Timberwolves, they only get to the free throw line 8 times in this game. Whereas Boston Celtics only got to the free throw line 9 times themselves. So a very low free throw game in general. But yeah, this was just an overall flat out team performance from the Bulls to win this game. Now, looking at the game flow, so the Celtics got off to a little bit of a quick start, but the Bulls hit back really quickly. Ended up with both the largest lead for both teams in this game was 8 points. Chicago got out to a 6-point lead early in the first quarter. Boston crawled it back, late in the first half. There, they got out to their 8-point lead. Bulls pulled that back, and then it was like a bit back and forth. Chicago holding on to the lead for certain periods there. The 21 lead changes in this game. 10 times a game was tied. And then obviously we got down to that final minute, and obviously the energy in the arena being the Derrick Rose jersey retirement ceremony night. The atmosphere, you could see it on the broadcast. The atmosphere inside the United Center was absolutely electric. And then when Kevin Huerter hit that 3, it was. I remember saying it in the Bulls HQ Discord coming into that timeout. I'm like, the one thing I said was give the ball to Josh Giddey and let him create. Everybody needs to be ready to receive a pass. Now, Josh Giddey, 14 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Josh Giddey has the ball. He's holding on to it for a bit of time to help down the clock and make sure that the shot that the Bulls do get is the last shot of the game. That he gets it down to the final few seconds, pass over to Kobe White. He kind of fumbles it just a little bit, makes the right decision. Kobe could have taken that shot himself, but he makes the decision to kick it to Kevin Huerter in the corner for that three, hits the game-winning shot with point 0.2 of a second remaining, and the rest is history for the Bulls in this game. Like, what a way to end it! Now, Kevin Huerter obviously pays tribute to Derrick Rose with how he celebrated that 3-point shot. If everyone remembers the pose from Derrick Rose when he hit that game, when he banked that game-winning shot against the Cleveland Cavaliers back in 2015. It was either Joakim or Taj Gibson. Like, he jumped up into one of their arms. I think it was Taj. And Derrick has just this no emotion look on his face. Well, Kevin Huerter decided to pay tribute to Derrick and try and pull the same pose himself. So shout out to Kevin Huerter for paying tribute to Derrick Rose on that one. Great to see. Now, obviously, while we shouldn't be surprised, it was great to see that the warm-up tops for the Chicago Bulls today were all Derrick Rose jerseys, as you want to call them. And obviously, they're not jerseys, they're not shirts, they're jerseys. So it was great to see that every single player was wearing a Derrick Rose jersey for their warm-up top. Obviously, and we're clutching at straws here, wearing the City Edition jersey on Derrick Rose celebration night. Obviously, yes, Derrick is from the city of Chicago, probably hence why they're wearing the City Edition jerseys. But I would have liked to have seen the Bulls just wearing their home whites in this game, wearing the jersey that Derrick wore. Obviously, he never wore the City Edition jersey because he left Chicago. What is it, 10 years ago now? Which it doesn't feel like it's been 10 years since he was traded from the Chicago Bulls. I still remember waking up. Was it 5:30 in the 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning to get ready for work. And one of the first things I do is when I wake up is pull out the phone and see what notifications are there. And there's a notification from the Chicago Bulls that they had traded Derrick Rose to the New York Knicks for Robin Lopez, Jose Calderon, and Jaren Grant. And I remember my heart just absolutely dropping when I saw that notification. Won't lie, there were, as every grown man should admit, there were tears when I saw that notification come through that Derrick was traded. So, but yeah, we'll get more into Derrick Rose very shortly. So I'll keep the game recap stuff as brief as possible because obviously that was not the story of the night. It's Derrick Rose. So one of the masters, I've got to give. Most people know I'm not the biggest fan of Billy Donovan. I'm not the biggest fan of Patrick Williams. You have to give love where love is due. Patrick Williams stood up tonight. He hit some big shots, and that dunk that Patrick Williams had going baseline, and he actually finished it with the two hands. That got me out of my seat. This is the Patrick Williams we all know is there. We know what Patrick Williams has in his game. It's just disappointing when we see it few and far between. But hey, kudos to Patrick Williams for standing up in this game and having an impact. I mean, again, this is where plus minus don't mean a damn thing as far as I'm concerned because this game he was a -7. No, Patrick Williams had a better impact than that. But I've got to give some love to Coach Billy Donovan. I thought putting Jalen Smith on Jaylen Brown, while there is a bit of a speed mismatch, that was a masterstroke because it caused Jaylen Brown some absolute friggin' headaches. in that fourth quarter. Yeah, there was a couple times where yeah, Jalen Brown got past Jalen Smith, or we'll just go with Sticks. But Sticks did an outstanding job of guarding Jalen Brown late in this game, in disrupting shots that Jalen Brown would normally make. So as in the UK channel of Bulls HQ, uh, Sticks gets my bull of the game because he did an outstanding job on Jalen Brown. Plus his usual output, when you look at the box score, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 2 or 5 from me on the arc. Outstanding job from Sticks. So absolutely love to see it. So just run through some of the other numbers quickly. Okay, Isaac Okoro, 5 and 9 from the field, 2 or 6 from beyond the arc, 12 points, 2 boards, and assist. Jalen Smith already mentioned the 14 points, 9 boards. Nikola Vucevic, 16 points, 7 boards, 6 assists, 7 of 10 from the field, 2 or 2 from beyond the arc. There were some moments there where you're wondering what the fuck is Nikola Vucevic doing, especially offensively when he had Peyton Pritchard on his back and he's just passing the ball out. Couple times lucky that those passes he did make it resulted in a bucket, so he got bailed out. I know one of them was by Jalen Smith hitting an open 3-pointer, but Nikola Vucevic, man, when you've got a fucking guy who's my height, 6'1", on your back and you're 6'11", take that motherfucker into the paint and score on his ass. You got no excuses to not do that. Unless a double team comes really quickly, which at that point of those passes, the double teams were not coming. They were not coming. So I don't understand why Nikola Vucevic is passing out of those situations. But yeah, he's going up against what's his name from the Boston Celtics. Let's have a look here. If this wants to stop. Where is he? Querta was happy to go up and post up Querta, but he's not happy to post up a guy who's 6 foot fucking one. Don't understand it, but hey, we came out with a dub. That's all that matters. Marta Pizzel's 5 of 13 overall from the field, 4 of 10 from beyond the arc. He was getting a little bit. He was starting to settle a little bit for the 3-point shot. Um, it was one thing like, hey, I've always maintained I don't care how many 3-point shots Martis Buzelis takes. I care about the quality of the shots, and some of them were just not the right quality of shots to be taking. But he also finishes with 8 points and 5 boards, stays out of foul trouble as well. And it's actually team best plus 15 in the plus minus as well. Kobe White, as mentioned before, 22 points, 7 assists, just the 1 rebound. It does have 4 turnovers in this game. Drew a crucial charge in that fourth quarter as well on Jalen Brown when he did one of those rare times where Jalen Brown got past Sticks. Kobe White was there waiting and took the charge. Anyone who tries to tell me that attempting to take charges in the game of basketball is just a waste of time and it's stupid, that's just ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry, it's blatantly ridiculous and tells me that you didn't really play the game of basketball at all. I don't care what your knowledge of the game of basketball is. If you try and tell me that taking charges is just dumb and pointless, then you really didn't actually play the game, is what that tells me. Kevin Huerter in this game, now he's been struggling with his 3-point shot, over the last number of weeks. 5 of 7 overall from the field, 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, including that game winning shot that we mentioned before. He came up absolutely fucking clutch for this team on Derrick Rose night. So thank you, Kevin Huerter, for hitting that shot because you saved us from some potential heartache on Derrick Rose night. So that's so 2 years in a row now when the Bulls are celebrating Derrick Rose. Last year was his career celebration. Obviously tonight being the jersey retirement. The Bulls get a win. Last year against the New York Knicks. Today against the Boston Celtics. I would assume 10 points, 2 boards, only 4 of 9 from beyond the arc, but 2 of 5 from downtown. So he keeps up his hot shooting from beyond the arc. Now, Josh Giddey in this game, as I mentioned before, struggled with his shooting. 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 2 from beyond the arc. He hasn't hit a 3-pointer since he's come back. So I dare say that 3-point percentage is probably dipped below, or probably below 38%. I haven't looked at the numbers recently. 2 or 2 from the free throw line, but does have the 8 boards and 10 assists. Does have the 5 turnovers, which is you don't want to see. But hey, Josh Giddey did come in despite, the -5 and the plus minus in the box score. As far as I'm concerned, he had a positive impact on this game. He created some crucial buckets for this team, so can't take that away from you know, the only thing I was probably disappointed about was that Josh Giddey wasn't aggressive enough offensively in terms of looking to score his own points. I would have liked him seeing a bit more aggressive, but hey, setting up his teammates the way he did for some crucial baskets, you can't be mad at that whatsoever. All right. So looking at some of the rest of the numbers, 32 assists for the Bulls, won the rebounding count, 44 to 38, had more blocks, 6-5, turned the ball over a lot, 15 to only 6 for the Boston Celtics. So that potentially nearly cost the Bulls. But hey, when you shoot 50.5% and 46.5% from the field goal and 3-pointers over, respectively, whereas Boston shot 44% from the field and 32% from beyond the arc. That's going to get you the game. Bulls win the fast break points 18-8. The Boston Celtics yesterday coming off a double overtime win against the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn. Didn't get into Chicago until about 3 o'clock this morning. So the Bulls needed to get out and run and take advantage of some potentially tired legs. The Celtics win the second chance opportunities 15-11. And then the Celtics win the points in the paint 52-42. But that's the wrap up for the game. Obviously, we had the Derrick Rose jersey retirement today, and I'm sorry if you turn around and tell me you weren't crying, I'm gonna call you a liar because if you weren't, or you got no emotions whatsoever, mean I can't lie. From when I got up this morning and saw the video that the Bulls um, put up going through Derek's family, former teammates, former opponents. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen put in had in videos to welcome Derek into the rafters. Obviously, know, unfortunately, Jerry Sloan and Bob Love are not around to be able to do that themselves as well. So it was great to see Michael and Scotty, albeit not together. Who knows? One day, hopefully in the future, probably not. We'll see Michael and Scotty together again and get that friendship rekindled. But some of the stories that Derrick Rose was telling, he kept it very, very real and was completely honest. From stories about his mother was going to give him up for adoption, but chose not to because she didn't think she'd be able to look after Derek. To stories about his brother Reggie, his brother Dwayne, kept keeping it very, very real about how much his family meant to him growing up. Talking to his kids, PJ. I forget the name of the two youngest ones, but you see the emotions on the two youngest kids. Like he's telling his baby boy not to cry. Who taught you how to tie your shoelaces? I didn't. You did. Who taught you to ride your bike? You did that. I mean, talking to PJ. If anyone's ever going to wear the number one jersey again for the Chicago Bulls, it's PJ. That'll be the only person who ever wears number one again. Talking to his wife, giving her the love for being able to take on PJ as one of her own kids, and then also having a positive relationship with PJ's mother. So that was absolutely amazing there. The stories from Joakim Noah, Luol Deng, Taj Wu Gibson, Tom Thibodeau. It was a hell of a night in for Chicago. the emotion that Taj Gibson was showing when he was talking and crying, and he had Derek crying to Luol Deng, not even really talking about them as teammates and what happened on the court, just talking about him as a human being. Joe Kim Noah was doing the same. Tom Thibodeau talking about a story from the 2011 playoff series against the Atlanta Hawks, where Derek was just telling Tibbs to just wait for Joe to rock up. Like there was a bad crash somewhere out in the streets. So like he will be there. And then to finally see the banner get unveiled up in the rafters at the United Center. It was a very emotional night for Derrick Rose, for the Chicago Bulls, his teammates, for the fans of the Chicago Bulls, not just in Chicago, but all of us around the world. Massive shout out to Tom Thibodeau, not Tom Thibodeau, Tim Sinclair, who we had as a guest on with Bulls Without Borders. Massive shout out to him, like as a public address announcer, shouting out to all the Bulls fans around the world watching not just the game but the jersey retirement ceremony. Making us Bulls fans that do live abroad from the United States and Chicago feel part of this organization. So thank you to Tim Sinclair for that. I know all of us Bulls fans around the world massively appreciate that, Tim. So thank you. It was a hell of an emotional night for Chicago. It's an it's a night that I'm probably day here for me here in Australia, but it's a night in Chicago Bulls history that I'm never going to forget. And yeah, there were definitely tears flowing a number of times throughout that ceremony and throughout the whole course of the day when watching some of the videos of Derek and what the Bulls had released overnight, and when I found them this morning as I was starting my day. So what a day for Chicago! What a fucking day! Thank you to all the guys that in Bulls HQ Discord that hung around for the Derrick Rose jersey retirement celebration. We were all chopping it up in the Discord there. Shout out to you guys for hanging out and all sharing our tears together as we watched the number one go up in the rafters. To Derrick Rose, I know he's never going to see this, but thank you for everything that you did for the Chicago Bulls, for the city of Chicago. Even though I'm not a part of the Chicago city of Chicago community. Obviously, I've never been to Chicago, unfortunately. Maybe one day. But everything that Derek, that you mean to the Bulls, to the city of Chicago, that you would continue to mean to the Bulls and the city of Chicago, this honor you absolutely deserve. And as Tom Thibodeau said, the next step is the NBA is the Basketball Hall of Fame, the James Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. That's the next step for you, Derek. And I won't be surprised at all if sometime in the near future we are celebrating you again at the United Center by unveiling a statue in your honor, because you damn well deserve it. So thank you, Derrick Rose, for everything that you did for Chicago, everything you did for the Bulls. Your number one jersey now hangs in its rightful place, up alongside Jerry Sloan, Bob Love, Michael Jordan, and Scottie Pippen, up in the rafters at the United Center. And quite happy to say that I have a brand new Derrick Rose jersey on order, not the Mitchell and Ness authentic jersey that they released today. Because I'm sorry, I'm not, as much as I love you, Derek. Paying $470 Australian for a basketball jersey is a bit outrageous. So Mitchell and Ness, But hey, I'm not. No, that's not on the Chicago Bulls. That's on Mitchell and Ness because they love to charge through the roof for jerseys. But hey, I'll have another jersey hanging up behind me relatively soon once my Derrick Rose jersey arrives. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me today on this episode of Whole Lot of Bull. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button, and hit me up on Twitter at Bulls_Troy. Follow the show at Whole Lot of Bull. Uh, until next time, Bulls fans. Number one forever. See red. Go Bulls. Kevin Huerter, you fucking beauty. Let's go. Number one's in the rafters, y'all. Let's go.